The quintessential jet-set Euro starlet, Ursula Andress was born in the Swiss canton of Bern on March 19, 1936, one of 6 children in a strict German Protestant family. Although often seeming icily aloof, a restless streak early demonstrated itself in her personality, and she had an impetuous desire to explore the world outside Switzerland. For instance, she was tracked down by Interpol for running away from boarding school at 17 years old. The stunning young woman found work as an art model in Rome and did walk-ons in 3 quickie Italian pictures before coming to Hollywood, going nowhere professionally. At 19, she met and had an affair with fading matinee idol John Derek, who abruptly left his wife and kids for Ursula, even though she barely spoke any English at the time. In 1957 they eloped, with the new bride putting her acting ambitions on hold for a few years thereafter. 1962 saw the virtually unknown Swiss beauty back on the set, playing opposite Sean Connery in the first movie version of Ian Fleming's fanciful James Bond espionage novels, Dr. No 1962. Andress' role was small, and her Swiss-German accent was so strong that her entire performance had to be dubbed by a voiceover artist. Nevertheless, her striking beauty and smoldering screen presence made a strong impression on moviegoers, immediately establishing her as one of the most desired women in the world and as an ornament to put alongside some of the most bankable talent of the era, such as Elvis Presley in Fun in Acapulco, 1963, and Dean Martin in 4 for Texas, 1963. In 1965, she was one of several European starlets to co-star in What's New Pussycat 1965, a film that perhaps sums up mid-60s pop culture better than any other, written by Woody Allen, starring Allen and Peter Sellers, with music by Burt Bacharach, a title song performed by Tom Jones and much on-screen sexual romping. Andress appeared in many more racy for their time movies in both the United States and Europe from the mid-60s to the late 70s, including The 10th Victim 1965, in which she wore a famously ballistic bra, and The Blue Max 1966, where she was aptly cast as the sultry, sexually insatiable wife of an aristocratic World War I German general. She was also featured in Casino Royale 1967, a satirical foray into the world of James Bond, and gave a sparkling performance in The Tea and Amp, a filled crime caper Perfect Friday 1970. Roles as a prostitute kidnapped by outlaws in Red Sunday 1971, a stewardess living on the edge in Loaded Guns 1975, and a bombshell nurse hired to titillate a doddering millionaire to death in The Sensuous Nurse 1975 all provided plenty of excuses to throw her clothes to the wind. In Slave of the Cannibal God 1978, she was notoriously stripped and slathered in orange paint by a pair of nubiles. Then she took on the sophisticated role of Louise de la Vallière, the slinky, conspiratorial mistress of King Louis XIV, Beau Bridges, in The Fifth Musketeer 1979. Unmarried since 1966, Andress had divorced Derek after falling in love with French actor Jean-Paul Belmondo on the Malaysian set of Up to His Ears 1965. The relationship with Belmondo hit a wall in 1972, and she was next attached to her leading man from State Line Motel 1973, Italian heartthrob Fabio Testi. When that did not work out, Andress played the field, reportedly involved at various times with a host of Lotharios including, but by no means limited to, Dennis Hopper, Franco Nero, John DeLorean, Marcello Mastroianni and Ryan O'Neal. In 1979, she began what would be a long-term romance with Harry Hamlin, her handsome young co-star from Clash of the Titans 1981, in which she was cast, predictably, as Aphrodite. While subsequently traveling in India, Andress' belly began to swell out of her clothing, and she felt very nauseous. What at first seemed a severe case of deli belly turned out to be pregnancy, her first and only, at age 43. She and Hamlin named the child, who was born in 1980, Dimitri Hamlin. After the birth of her son, Andress scaled back her career, which now focused on slight European productions such as Mexico in Flames 1982, with Old Flame Nero, or occasional television stints on the soap opera Falcon Crest 1981, and critically lauded miniseries Peter the Great 1986, as she was raising Dimitri in Italy. Dumped by Hamlin in 1983, she began keeping company with Sicilian student Fausto Fagone in 1986. Since the breakup of that relationship in the early 90s, her love life has gone undocumented. She last worked on a film in 2005. Ostensibly retired from acting, Ursula makes the rounds of charity events and appears on talk shows every once in a while. She divides her time between family in Switzerland, friends in Spain and Virginia, and her properties in Rome and L.A.